question, when I talk to you about working in New York, a surreal place, but I'm thinking of other surreal places that you worked. Steve, working at Disneyland.
Yes.
How many rules and regulations, and did you ever see Walt Disney when you were working there?
I did see Walt Disney. I worked there when I was 10 till I was 18. And I saw him once when I was very young. And he came to visit the park, and I was like it was like seeing God, you know. And I loved working there. And I love going there still.
And how many rules and regulations do they have for you when you worked there?
Well, then it was a different time. And there were rules and regulations for people who actually worked for Disneyland, but I was what they called I worked for an independent contractor, people who leased stores in Disneyland. So it was really fun. It was kind of wide open. And it was only 10.
That's so neat.
No, Goldie, surreal places you worked at. Las Vegas, Nevada, the 60s.
Really?
Not probably the most wholesome place that it is now, but were you ever amazed at the unusual people that you met when you worked there?
No, Las Vegas wasn't the most surreal place I ever worked.
Oh, where?
I was basically a go-go dancer. And I danced, I got a gig in New York, and I was in a cage. It was the first time I'd ever been in a cage. And I remember dancing and with all my heart, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and then I looked down, and there was a man who had his nose up against the glass. And I was selling, I was in show business, you know? And I looked at myself and I went, oh my God, what are you doing? And this man looked at me and I went, I don't think I belong here. At that time, the guy who owned the restaurant came up to me, and it was some dive. And he said, Huntington Hartford wants to have you have a drink with him at the bar.
Wow.
And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, I don't do that. I'm a dancer. And he said, well, that's what's expected of you. And I said, well, I quit. And I walked out of the bar, and that was a very surreal experience.
Think how different your life would be if you'd married Huntington Hartford.
Oh God! I mean, think about the
first
options.
You'd be rich, right?
Huh?
Well, this movie has a lot to do.
No offense. Yeah.
Well, this movie has a lot to do with traveling, and I'm often fascinated when actors, celebrities travel on airplanes. When you're trapped on an airplane, like Steve, what do you do if you're on the plane? The guy next to you says, hey Steve, I was a wild, crazy guy too, or Goldie, I watched you on Laughing.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult because I don't like to talk about my past much, as this bores me. So it's very hard to get into those conversations. But people are very, polite on planes, and I'll sit and read, or maybe I want to talk to them,
I feel the same way. I think that if I got someone, and I have once or twice in my life, who won't stop talking, I will say to them, I wish not to speak anymore. I have things to do. And that's all you need to do. Usually they're pretty respectful.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure seeing you.